What inspires me really is nature. You know, like so many artists, I'm a big gardener, as you can see, and so I see something that's part of the nature cycle. And it could be like the little bud coming up, or a seed pod, or the inside of a flower, or maybe it's a fruit or vegetable. And I'm attracted to the form. And I'm attracted to the fact that it isn't here very long. You know, it might be here for a week or, you know, a day, or some of them only an hour, you know. Well, what I found that I really thought was interesting was a little yellow pepper. It was in the market. And it had such beautiful curves to it. It reminded me of those Edward Weston photographs, you know, of these very sensual peppers. And it just seemed to flow together, and it was very kind of abstract in a way, the way it was curving and smooth. So I thought, well, that might be something to put in marble, you know, 5 or 6 times bigger. Some people say it looks like a figure or something. I didn't really want to make the exact replica of it. I wanted to abstract it so that, you know, you just try to focus on the form that appeals to you, you know, there's certain aspects.
I kind of get an idea in my head. Sometimes it starts with the materials. If I've found something really interesting, or the scrap bin has a bunch of green tiles, or my glass friend has whatever available. So sometimes it starts with the materials, but sometimes it starts with the idea. And the piece for Salisbury for this year, called First Bud, I was sitting in the driveway in the early spring and was trying to think, what can I make now? Which happens frequently. What do I make now? And the buds were just starting to come out on the tips of the branches, and all the trees in my front yard, they're very mature trees, but that week was the week that it was like, okay, spring is almost here, and just at the very tips was the leaf bud starting to form. And I thought, oh, that would be a very interesting form to make with a branch or twig with just that leaf bud on top. Although I've done a large mural installation, that sculpture, the First Bud sculpture, is 8 feet tall, and it's the largest sculptural piece, and so it was exciting and challenging to try to figure out how I could build it, what kind of armature it needed, how I could move it. So it's made in 2 pieces that lock together and pull up the middle, and so it was challenging to figure out the dynamics of that piece. When I make something, I make it because I'm inspired with an idea. Human lives are enriched by having the arts, whether it's visual art, music, dance, you know, there's 100 different drama, there's video stuff, there's 100 different avenues, and I think that it bugs me when people say, oh, I'm not creative. Well, everyone is creative, it just comes out in different ways.
series, Memento Mori, Remember Death, probably for about 15 years. And I would say that that piece is fitting in with that one. Originally I called it Poet's Monument, and that it sort of had the chest heaving out, and he's got his heart in his guts. So I'm going for those sort of long-term, the human condition type of thing. And one of the most influential human conditions is death. You know, we all die, and that's what we're all trying to like run around and get away from. And I think too, as an artist, that aspect really fascinates me, not from a morbid sense, but for the same reasons that I chose stone. You know, those issues about death sort of compel me to think about, you know, what are we here for, and really importantly, what are we leaving behind? What are we leaving behind? What are we leaving behind?